Welcome to Today's America, Millennium News 24/7, United States of America, and around the world. Viewers, so many things going on in America, also worldwide. Our politicians make us foolish, shameful, and they are using American taxpayer money globally, killing the human being, not save the human being. Russia destroy whole Ukraine. We're going to bring so many news with our good friend. We have our network, George Ortega. George, welcome to Millennium News 24.
Thank you, Neil. It's nice to be back.
Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am a political analyst. I've worked on basically enhancing our capitalist system so that it no longer funds the rich who control our politics. I've worked on climate change. I published a book on how we can finance the fight against climate change. And I'm basically interested in increasing human happiness across the world, health, creating a much better world.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Viewers, first of all, we are talking about American middle class and lower class and under poverty line. Our federal government, state government, and city government, they want their share from everyone. Like every year, we have to file the tax, and on time, we have to pay our dues. Otherwise, every single day, getting fined, like a cyclic water. But federal government doing anything for American people, state government, city government, thousands of people right now is hunger, homeless, jobless, and under poverty line. Who gonna talk about these things? Why our government not see these things? What is the reason, Mr. George?
Well, it's basically the reason why anything that should be getting done isn't getting done. Basically, the politicians, mainly Republicans, but Democrats who kind of like pretend to be liberal and aren't, basically listen to their campaign contributors, the rich people who fund their campaigns, who don't want to pay taxes, to fund better education, fund better health care for the poor. That is the problem. If we go to the solution, we've got an opportunity. This January 6th insurrection shows not just America, but the world, what the Republican Party has become. So we now have an opportunity to get this money out of politics by prosecuting that insurrection, that attempted coup on our country.
Do you have any idea Biden administration gonna doing anything for American middle class and under poverty line people?
Well, as long as the Democrats do not end the filibuster, and it doesn't seem like they're going to end it anytime soon, we're going to have to wait until January 2023 and hope and expect that the Democrats win by a landslide. Because when the American public is reminded of January 6th, the attack that killed 7 people, I believe 4 police officers, perhaps 5, when they understand, the dangerousness of that lie, to get people to attack our country because of this lie, then people will vote Republicans out of office, and then we hold the Democrats responsible. then we make sure that they are working not for the rich camp. Basically, we have to get money out of politics because that's how you help the poor and the middle class. That's how you do anything. It starts with this trial. It starts with first making sure that everybody, not just in this country, but in the world, understands that that lie was illegal. Telling his followers that the election was stolen is illegal, was illegal. It was used to incite an insurrection. So basically, it's not just about like getting money out of politics as the general principle. It's about how we're going to do that. And again, the first step is for Garland to indict Trump on issuing false statements, on lying to the public. That should be the first charge, and then we proceed from there.
You talking November 5th election coming, midterm election. But Republican and Democrat, anyone is coming power, Republican or Democrat. We don't see last 50 years they did anything for American public, American lower class under poverty line. You hope so, Democrat gonna be win coming midterm. Then they can do something. But George, one thing I can tell you, they are power right now. And House, Senate, White House, if they cannot do anything right now, they never gonna do coming 2 years. You can write my word. You saw your eyes what's happened after 2011 or 2010 when midterm Democrat fell from Obama time. They never did anything after that. They can put one justice also. So, hope American politician, whatever they are, Republican, Independents, Democrat, House, Senate, Congress, White House, State House, Governor House, City Hall, they can do something for their voter, their citizen. If they don't do anything, they are shameful, totally shameless, shameful people. They are helping Ukrainian, they are helping African, they are helping Middle Eastern, billions of dollars. But they do not help their own citizen, own people. Do you have any point?
Well, I mean, it's not just here in the United States. The rich control every country. So, like, there are a lot of people, especially in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, where the poor are not being tended to because it's the same problem. The same rich people who control the United States control them. That's what. And yes, you're right. The Democrats have been lying to the American people for decades, saying we care about this, we care about that. They don't care. We need to change that. We need to demand, again, people need to understand that this Ukraine war, the pandemic that might have been avoided if Trump would have done what he should have done. This mess we're in now, after the coup attempt, is because they have allowed misinformation to be spread on Fox News, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and that has to end. Again, like the first step has to be that Garland prosecutes Trump on the lie, the stolen election lie, and that sets the stage. Because once we do that, then yes, we and the other thing about this, Noor, is the Democrats tend to be self-serving, the leaders. They don't really care as much as they'd have us believe about the world, about the future. But they have seen, as a result of January 6th, the danger of allowing these big lies to be spread by the media, by Fox News and others. They now understand the danger, so they may not want to change our laws to make them much stronger about these lies, to prohibit them, to prosecute the people who spread them. They may not want to do this, but they, I think, understand we're in a world where it's definitely in their best interest to end these lies, because to the extent that these lies continue, it's not just the Republicans who are history, the Democrats are history as well.
You know, you bring good point. Democrat always coming to the middle class, lower class, under poverty line. Oh, we are part of you. We're gonna be help you guys to build your business, build your structure, build your children life and community life. And this is the way they getting to the get vote. But when they get the vote, they never show up. This is Democrat bad habit. Also, you can see big state like California, Texas. Texas economy is good. People surviving. Same thing California. But under poverty line, millions of people, both state. The rich state in America. Governors in Texas, they are doing nothing for these people. They take over the fundamental rights, voter rights also. Now they try to take over education rights for the young children. And they cannot get admission, good school, best school in Texas. So what are you going to say, man, bro?
Yeah, and I think the Democrats, I mean, like, yes, the Democrats, we understand, have been corrupt also for decades. And so why aren't these children being tended to? Why aren't the poor in Texas and other places being tended to? Because it's not the politicians who are calling the shots. The people who are preventing the politicians from properly financing healthcare and education are the rich. And the way they're able to do that is because money is allowed in politics. And the reason money is still allowed in politics is because the rich lie all the time about the money in politics. They say it's fair, they say it's right, they say it's good. These are all lies. And so basically, yes, we need to get the money out of politics, but in order to do that, we need to stop the lies. You know, there has to be much stronger legislation against. First of all, we have to prosecute the stolen election lie. You know, then we make Congress, you know, pass these laws. And if the Republicans don't want to go along, we need to like vote them out of office. But that is how you get, you know, the states, the politicians to do the right thing. Once money is no longer in policy, they will have to basically enact and defend the will of the people.
Yeah. Hope American politicians work for their own people. They play games last 247 years. This is 21st century. Hopefully, they're going to be understood. Otherwise, coming days is bad time coming for them. Reason? These days, social network, young generation, they are understood what is the politician doing. They are working for their people or they are working for the lobbyist. You know, gun violence, gun industry, pharmaceutical industry, and all corporate industries. But they do not work for general public. Hopefully, someone have a guards in White House, they can bring this topic on their front. They don't. They also taking lobbyist money. You know that. That's why they do not bring any kind of voice regarding general public. Every day they bring what's happened in Ukraine, how Russia doing, what is the Russia going to do. This is the job our American people need to know every single day, George.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the problem that we're facing is, basically the rich controlling everything through lies. And I'm optimistic though, because think about it. Again, like, we're following the pattern that the rich are maintaining control through lies, and then they are like bribing our politicians to do their will. So that applies to everything. So in terms of these lies, the reason I'm optimistic is because this stolen election lie was extremely dangerous. What would have happened if Trump's people would have gotten into that chamber with all those senators and House members? Trump could have used other means, other lies to take over the country. Even today, Trump could tell a lie. Trump could tell his people, Putin is preparing to invade the United States with nuclear weapons. Trump could do that, and his people would believe him, and imagine the havoc that would cause. And our laws, our country, is either not enforcing these laws against these dangerous lies, or we don't have them on the books. I trust we're not enforcing them. And so this is where we are. So like, the Democrats understand now the danger of allowing these big lies to happen. And that's so, it's not like they're going to do this willingly to a great extent. They kind of like the status quo because they make money, from their campaign contributions, but they understand that these big lies are no longer acceptable. We place our country and our future at risk to the extent that we continue to allow them. So I'm optimistic because the Democrats understand that. They're going to have to reform themselves. They're going to have to reform the Republican Party. They're going to have to reform the entire political system to end lies. Once we end the lies, we end the money in politics, then we do what we need to do.
Very good. George, stay with us. Viewers, we are going to short break. Please stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Viewers, we are back again. Today's America. Russian face global outrage over state of Bucha, Kiev, thousands of dead bodies. War Crime Division, International War Crime, they are investigating. Kiev, Ukraine president, his first time 6 weeks, he is outside of the Kiev doing himself investigation. Russia send the missile every single day in Odessa. Ukrainian whole country totally disaster. Is gonna be who gonna help them to build the country? Is gonna be taking trillions of dollars, not billion, trillions of dollars. European partner and America, what they're going to do? Mr. George?
Yeah, well, as you noticed, it wasn't just Putin and Trump creating this war to protect Trump, to try to protect Trump from prosecution. It's also the contractors. Yeah, people are going to rebuild Ukraine, and a lot of people are going to make a lot of money in the process. So what can we do? Zelensky should have recognized the power disparity between Russia and the Ukraine. I think he understood that the West was not going to intervene militarily. So it's unfortunate. He's a comedian. He's not, he apparently doesn't understand the ramifications of these geopolitical events. And he should have, from the beginning, surrendered. He should have, the Russian army is no match for the Ukrainian army. And so just like France did in World War II, he should have surrendered and adopted a Gandhi type approach so that people didn't die. I don't know how many people died already, but more people will die. And again, because he wanted to be a hero. He wanted to fight when the wise thing to do would have been to shame Russia and to scare all the other countries of the world by exposing Russia's imperialist, expansionist policies.
But when Russia started fight with Ukraine, Russia gave them so many months warning, so many conditions, so many things. But NATO's, European Union, Ukraine, also United States of America do not taking care any commitment, or they do not promise anything to Russia. Now, Ukraine peoples, thousands of people, dead body everywhere. They don't have any people to bury these people, It's shameful, man. Our Western country, they pushing this war. America, Britain, Germany, they pushing this war. Now, who is the victim? Ukraine, Ukrainian people, land of Ukraine, city of Ukraine, everywhere, everything destroyed. So, America gonna be build their country? I don't think so. America never ever build anywhere any country. They cannot build their country. How they gonna build whole Ukraine? Ukraine is the big country, is not a small. Mr. George?
Noor, I just want to ask you a question. How many people have died so far in the Ukraine from this war?
How many thousands, you can say? How many, not how many thousands of people on the street of Odessa, street near Kiev, is called Busa, so many places on the street, highway, everywhere.
All right, so let's say 5,000 people have already died. Let's say 10,000. Okay, we have to we have to understand that it's not just the Ukraine. You know, every day of every year for the last several decades, 30,000 children under the age of 5 have been dying from poverty that's preventable. So like this tragedy in Ukraine paled in comparison to what we, the rich, it's not just the United States, it's the rich across the world, do to people, how they kill people under 5 children. So yes, this Ukraine war is the tip of the iceberg. The world needs to awaken that the rich are killing thousands of people every day in the Ukraine, in Africa, across the world, because they don't care, because they would rather have their second and third houses than pay the taxes that it would cost to free these people from their deaths from poverty, to care for their welfare. So yes, the Ukraine is a symptom of the problem that our leaders are corrupt, and apparently the general populations don't really care, because you don't hear people, this is horrible how these 30,000 kids every day are dying. We need to care more to make the politicians do what we need them to do. And again, that's the basic outline. If we can't succeed without a strategy, and the strategy is to take this step at a time, to prosecute Trump for the big lie, to then prosecute him for the insurrection, to decimate the Republican Party, and then to make the Democrats get the money out of politics. That's how you end the Ukraine war. That's how you basically solve every problem in the world.
You bring good topic. Every year, over 30,000 young kids die. But in America, every year, opioid, drug addicted, over 120,000 people died. Who cares this? Our politician? Over 120,000 people die every single year in America. This is not my word, it's CDC, FDA. They are, plus this news last Friday. So, they don't care anything. You and me, if we die, American president, American politician, no one cares. No one. Anyway, Russia, right now, whatever they did, hope world community, International Criminal Court, they are watching, they can do some kind of punishment. This is my hope and my prayer. We don't want to see anywhere in the world, human being is victimized for their politician. This Zelensky, he is not a politician. For his mistake, his people is died, and world community is suffer. Their neighbor, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Moldova, Georgia, those countries is suffer. Millions of people their country now. But this president, he have to be understood. He is not coming from politician core. He coming from comedian. Anyway, you bring the topic already. Another thing I want to bring, George. Our Biden administration and Secretary of State, our National Security Branch, National Security Council, they try to throw out democratic government, Southeast Asia, also Europe, but they are failure. So why our Biden administration hired them? Number one, if they do not have any knowledge, they do not have any kind of experience, why they have to get millions of dollars salary every year for American taxpayer? Mr. George?
Well, I mean, in American society, throughout the world, it's the rich who basically hire people that they can control, people who perhaps aren't all that intelligent, so they don't question what they're doing. And that explains a lot. So, wherever it is, the best people are not being hired for the job. The people who are being hired are the people who will protect the status quo. That's a problem. That's a problem here in the United States. It's a problem throughout the entire world.
Last few days, so many news coming from Southeast Asia, country called India, Pakistan, Nepal, Maldives, Bangladesh. Those countries support Russia, not Ukraine, not United States. That's why Biden administration, their Security Council, they try to throw out democratic government, Pakistan, democratic prime minister, elected prime minister, 2018. He was a cricket player, also captain. He became politician since 1996. Okay. So since 1996 to as of today, 2018, he became prime minister country. And our Security Council, one of the John Liu, his name, I don't know what kind of, he's an assistant director of Security Council. His letter in secret letter to CIA, to US Embassy, Islamabad, New Delhi, India, also Bangladesh, Nepal, Kathmandu, Maldives. So now they cannot throw out anyone. Also, they cannot bring their own guys in Serbia. They have election this weekend, last weekend, Saturday or Sunday. And same thing in Hungary. They have an election the last Sunday. So they cannot bring their own people. So what kind of politics they do? And why they are so measurable, their idea and their connection in the worldwide.
The problem of countries like the United States basically overturning other countries. We've been doing this for decades, but it's not really, it's not the United States against another country. It's not the Republicans or the Democrats. It's the rich. It's the rich in this country. And if the people who are rich in this country are not controlling whatever country you name, any country in the world, it is the rich people in those countries. That's the problem. That's the problem we face. So it's not like the America is this sole horrible country. The people, the people of the world who allow money to control their country, we have to take responsibility. If we allow that, what can we expect? So again, this problem extends of countries like the United States.
George, you are right. I'm going to bring another topic. Country of Pakistan is not an easy country though. Nuclear country. Since 1999, they are nuclear country. Same thing, country of India, nuclear country. It is not an easy country. And our government try to throw out their government democratic government. Is not a now is embarrassing is our diplomatic community. You know that America is embarrassing whole of the world, all diplomatic community. So that's why we are vote for these guys.
Well, again, that's why we have to get the money out of politics. The people who control those guys are the rich, and that's the source of the problem. And again, let's switch from the problem to the solution. We have an opportunity because Trump and the Republicans overreached so far on January 6th to shut that system down. And then the first way we do this is we make Garland, our U.S. Attorney General, prosecute Trump initially for the crime of telling that big lie that led to the insurrection. Once we do that, then we prosecute Trump for the insurrection, for waiting 3 hours, before calling off the attack. And then that's just like the first phase. The second phase is making the Democrats make this the number one issue in November to completely decimate the Republican Party. And then that's the second step. The third step is once we have a very strong congressional majority in 2023, we need to make Biden and the Democrats get the money out of politics. That's how things get solved.
You are bring Mr. Donald Trump, ex-president, for all the time. But one thing I gonna tell you, my brother, you never gonna see any kind of punishment behalf or regarding Mr. Trump. Our Justice Department and American court system is totally sleeping for the rich people. If you and me, we are in hang right now. Okay? We are in hang. They're gonna put us hang, but they never gonna do anything regarding Trump or Trump alliance or his follower. You can see,
I'm sorry, Trump, I can't believe that. Noor, I can't believe that because the risk of allowing what happened politically in the United States if Trump went free? 25% of us are liberals, like myself. You think we would take that sitting down? No. The establishment, Republicans and Democrats who control things, would then face a two-pronged attack from Trump's people and the liberals, and it's so beyond that. They're thinking of history. If Biden and Garland don't prosecute Trump, don't convict him, history will view them as worse criminals. These guys, they're concerned about their legacy. They're concerned about how history views them. That's why I'm optimistic. Yes, I know people are afraid that presidents don't get, indicted and prosecuted and all. Presidents don't usually try to overtake their country like Trump did. This is an entirely different situation. So we need to recognize that. And again, we need to recognize that there's too much of a downside to Biden and Garland to do nothing for them to not do anything. So I'm confident, because it would be so dangerous to not prosecute Trump, that not only will Trump be prosecuted, but the Republicans will be decimated in November.
We hope it's going to be happen. We hope our Justice Department is wake up. They can do right things, right time. And American people, they cannot divide the country. Like the politician and rich people, they have a one kind of rule, and colorful people like me, they are going to have a different rule of law. If these things happen, no one going to believe and no one going to be trust our politician and our justice system. Still, worldwide, people respect American democracy, American politician, American justice system. But in the internationally, worldwide, people, they do not know what kind of justice system we have. Anyway, Donald Trump and Biden, they are not, my eyes, they are similar. Okay? They are similar. They are not for American public. They are for rich people. Okay? They are for billionaire, trillionaire. They are not for millionaire either. Biden administration, in worldwide, internationally, we think he is the experienced guy. 36 years or 40 years, he's senator. 8 years, he's vice president. And he gonna be have a lot of experience. But we see nothing. You know, his diplomacy is failed. World is laughing now. And Middle East, they are not hearing whatever he tried to say. Also, I heard on the Arab news, okay, not Al Jazeera, they call Arab news, also Face News, their talking point, Arab Emirat, Kuwait and Saudi Arab. They do not pick up the call from White House. If White House call them, they do not pick up. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Kuwait, Kingdom of UAE. So what kind of diplomacy we have, my brother?
Yeah, in order to strike an optimistic note, yes, things aren't nearly the way they should be, but consider the rich were the sources of these problems, have been in power for about 2,000 years. Now, in the next 30 years, climate change will get increasingly dangerous, threatening, harmful. And so by 2050, the seriousness of climate change will be so apparent to everyone in the world that everyone in the world will understand that we no longer can afford a plutocracy, a global plutocracy. At that point, people will understand that democracy, true democracy, where the rich don't control everything, is a necessity. It's not something we're going to do if we're good or nice. It's something we have to do. So like 30 years isn't all that long to wait for us to finally create the kind of world that we know can be.
You are right. We can hope these things can happen good way. Anyway, the Sahara region, African continental, South Africa to North Africa, East Africa to West Africa, all now covered up by China. And little by little, Russia get in. This is like our yard, you know. America from New York to West Africa, like Senegal or Nigeria, it take 5.5 hours to travel time. From China, it take Senegal to China, it take 15 hours. But what we did, why these people, get all kind of help from China and Russia? Why not us?
Well, we should have been doing this for decades, but for some reason, it's about our trade agreements and our tariffs. We form these trade agreements with other countries that result in us paying higher prices. But because they're our allies, because they're relatively rich, we trade with them instead of the African countries. So yes, China and Russia are saying to themselves, the United States is basically neglecting some very, very good business opportunities for the future. And they're investing. They're investing just like China invested in their economy and lifted 300 million people out of poverty. That's what China and Russia are doing in sub-Saharan Africa, which is great.
You are right. You know, I remember 2005, our ex-president George W. Bush, he told the front of the press media what we have to do in Sahara and African continental. They have a black hole. They don't have nothing. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, 2005, like springtime. But you see, our politician, their administration ignore. That's why these things happen. Now they have a lot of opportunity, lot of business happening, like a medical system, healthcare system, health insurance system, also IT. So many ways American people can work, American people can do the business, but our government is failure. George W., same thing Obama, same thing our ex, what is the call? Donald Trump, now is current president. They are just working for fight and war, making money, American taxpayer money. That's all, nothing else. So anyway, George, our time almost end for today. Do you have a last word? You like to say anything?
Yeah, I think the last word is like to reform our entire world, we need to stop the lying. We need to basically make it much more illegal for media companies like Fox, for people like Trump to tell lies that are dangerous to the entire world.
Viewers, today our time is end over here. We have talked about our American middle class, lower class, poverty line, also American politics, Republican, Democrat, Independents, Congress, Senate, White House. What kind of games they are playing with American people. Also, we talk about Ukraine and thousands of life, dead body in surrounding Kiev. This is shameful. And Russia killing innocent people. Inside of Russia, still they are arresting peace-loving, democratic human being. Also, we talk about Indian democracy, Pakistani democracy, South Asian democracy. Our National Security Council and our intelligence branch called CIA, they try to throw out some democratic government, but they are failure. American taxpayer money goes to their salary. But Biden administration, what they are doing, they do not know. They are totally failure administration. They do not know what they are doing. So simple is failure administration we are right now. And we are talk about Sahara region and South Africa to North Africa, East Africa to West Africa, and lot of opportunity happening there. Business, job, cultural, health and wealth. But America is missing from African continental. Hope our politician, administration, they have some good knowledge and good theory coming from all colorful people and all minority and lower class, middle class and poverty line. Viewers, our time is end for today. Please watch Millennium News 24 and Today's America on iOS and Android device. Also, all smart TVs, Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku, Amazon. Also Amazon Fire Stick, Roku Stick, Apple TV. Also we are on Jadu, Jagobidi and Radiant IPTV. Also Sky TV on Europe, East Europe to West Europe and Russia to all Australia. Our social network address Millennium News 24/7, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube channel address News Channel M24. Our website millenniumnews24.com, millenniumtv24.com. Viewers, our email address info@millenniumtv24.com, also info@millenniumnews24.com. Our friends, colleague, IT, broadcaster, reporter, journalist, and newscaster, presenter, host, everyone working round the clock for you. News, views, talk show, documentary, editorial, so many things. Viewers, we are grateful our co-worker and our friends and colleagues. Viewers, our helpline in worldwide Millennium Foundation is working globally. Ukraine to all West Sahara region and Middle Eastern countries like Ethiopia, Sudan, Somalia, and Syria, Iraq, Afghan, and so many other regions. Also Bangladesh. Please, helpline is millenniumfoundationusa.com. You can use credit card, check, PayPal, so many things. Viewers, whatever you are, stay, peace, love, and happiness. Goodbye and take care for today.